From Careco TV, one of the longest running outdoor programs on television today. Exploring the country and the coast in search of adventures. From the mountains of the great Northwest to the shores of the Atlantic Ocean. This is Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. This week on Americana Outdoors, we're taking a look back at 2 ice fishing trips and reminiscing on all of the fun that can be had while fishing over a frozen lake. Ice fishing, if you didn't know any better, sounds like a good way to just have frozen hands and a runny nose. While that can and does happen, ice fishing is more like having a really cold picnic or barbecue with friends that just happens to take place in below freezing temperatures, and the fish catches are just the icing on the cake.
Yeah! Crappie, baby!
Now, let's take a look back at the first time Steve Pennaz, who is a legendary pro on the ice, was able to pull Wade away from the warm Texas waters and bring him up north for his first ice fishing experience in Minnesota.
I've always said Wade didn't wade fish and Wade didn't ice fish much. But Wade does wade fish and Wade's getting ready to go ice fishing now. So this is a pretty epic adventure for me, in all honesty. I'm up in Minnesota with my good friend Steve Pennaz. But the main thing that's got me the most excited about this is an opportunity to play more with Garmin's Panoptic. You know, I first fell in love with Panoptic when it came out, and I had a demo model, and I'm fishing up on a boat ramp, and I make a cast, and I see everything happening live. So we're getting ready to go out on this body of water and have a brand new experience while also learning a little bit more about all this live action fishing you can do with Panoptic. Good gosh, is this a hook?
Yeah, baby. You want something bigger? I'll give you something bigger. Here, you want this? I can guarantee you.
My eyes aren't good enough to even tie a knot on this.
There you go.
No, I'm good.
We're just gonna tie this on. And we've got 4-pound mono on here. Mono performs well in the shallow water. If we're gonna fish deeper water, we'll go to a braid or a super line, just for no stretch and sensitivity in that deep water.
This is by far and away the smallest bait I've ever tied on in my life.
Is it?
Yeah.
In the old days, we'd drill 50, 60, 70, 100 holes and then walk from hole to hole with traditional sonar, looking for schools of fish directly underneath us. With Panoptic's live view forward now, what we do is we drill a hole, we drop our PS22 transducer down, and we scan sideways. And we can go out to 100 feet and we'll go, there's a school of crappie here at 60 feet, right between here and that birch tree, or here's another one over here at 40 feet. And it'll just send Wade over with the auger and say, Wade, pace off about 40 feet, drill a hole, we should be right on top of the fish. So it's really changed ice fishing for the better in terms of making it a little easier to find the fish and just to have a little more fun. I mean, we can go to a traditional flasher here real quick and kind of show the same thing that we're looking at. And you can kind of see what's happening now. Here's the bottom. You've got some perch down bottom. You've got a couple crappie right there. The difference is there's my jig going up and down right there. But it's a completely different experience. Now you can watch.
You don't know what's left and right of you like you do on the down.
No, not at all. You lose a lot of that ability. But if we go back to Panoptics again, it's much more spacious. You still have the separation between, you can see.
But you can see so much wider. You can see your bait actually moving up and down, and,
yep.
and you know exactly the depth better. You can see how many fish are to the side.
Look at all that crappie come screaming up there. See how that fish is screaming up to the bait? No, he just rejected it.
He just turned it and went the other way.
He just rejected it.
He just went that way to the right.
Yep. Now, see how it's all become one?
Yeah.
Now just sort of slowly lift. There you go.
Oh,
there you go. First one.
Pull this out.
Sunfish.
First one through the eyes. How cool is that?
It's ice fish too.
That's so cool.
Look at that.
That's so cool. I could do this all day.
You are going to do it all day.
This is like already going to be another addiction.
Well, we just witnessed firsthand how quickly ice fishing can become addicting. Next up, we'll see another ice fishing first for Wade.
Before the road trips, the cool mornings, the hot cast iron, the short nights, and the long cast. There's one stop that you can't afford to miss. It's time to gear up and camp out at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Save on all your camping essentials, in-store and online. Your adventure starts here.
Stetson Blaylock, Todd Otten, Hank Terry, let's go!
Garmin Live Scope, I tell you right now, if you don't have it, you are behind. It's just wild. It's like a video game.
If you do not have that Garmin Live Scope, you are definitely missing out.
Bassmaster Classic Champion!
Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin, is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Garmin, fight your fish, not your fish finder. Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Welcome back to Americana Outdoors. One of the most crucial things to take into consideration before stepping out onto the ice is, of course, safety, safety, safety. Steve Pennaz has some words of advice for us that can prove to be life-saving for anyone who's thinking about trying ice fishing for the first time.
You know, the general rule on ice is you need about 3 to 4 inches to walk out, you need about 8 inches to take a light vehicle, and you need about 12 inches to bring a truck out here. We've got probably 12 to 14 inches of good solid ice. We've got plenty of ice to be out here safely, but if you see cracks, if you see water seeping up through the ice, avoid those areas. If there's any question, stay off the ice.
Let's rejoin Wade as he wraps up his first experience of ice fishing.
Oh, he's a little bitty guy. Check him out. Little perch. Well, that's so cool. Catch all the different species while you're out here. See the fish coming up to it right there? He's gonna kind of become one. He just turned and went away. He didn't like it. I'm gonna drop it right back down on him and just kind of shake it a little bit. There comes one up at it right there. Little bitty guy, and I shook it and he swam off to the side there. Look, there's a bunch of them underneath. Don't see the ground swell up? There's one right there, that's him. You can see the fish coming right up. Small perch right there. But that just shows you how great a separation and what we've got going on here. I mean, that's a small fish that you actually saw. Can you imagine when you start seeing big fish like the crappie or walleye or bass when you're drop shotting, how they're going to show up? And it just tells you how good these units are at picking up target separation and targets at that depth.
I'm gonna go down below you.
I'm in the middle of that big group of like 3 or 4. Oh, there comes another one came up.
Eat it.
2 of them came up. Ah!
They're acting like sunfish.
Are they?
Yeah. See that? There.
Now you'll know.
Ooh, ooh. Can you grab that out of the hole? Bring it right out.
Yeah!
Crappie, baby!
How about them apples?
Look at that!
Nice!
Snagged him on the corner of the mouth.
That is awesome.
Got him?
Yes, got him.
There you go.
Got him. I don't think my... What is that now?
You got him all right.
Yeah, I got him.
Look at that screen though. It's just...
Oh, that's awesome.
You need to pull your... Yep.
Ah, big sunfish.
Oh, that is a big one.
Big sunfish. I finally caught a crappie. That's cool.
There you go. Oh, big crappie. Look at that one. Nice.
Wow.
Boom.
I got hot at the end. Got hot at the end.
That's a good quality crappie. That's what you've been looking for all day.
You know, I look back there's a lot of firsts in life, and you know, I look back to the first bluegill I ever caught, threw a bobber out, little red and white bobber on a rock. And the bobber went down eating a night crawler, and I reeled it in. I was a little kid and ran home to my mom and dad. And, wow, check this out. You know, and really, here I am, you know, 50 years later, and I'm like, wow, check this out. That was my first fish, and an ice deal. They're about the same size, ironically enough. And, you know, I drop it down there, and everybody's kind of excited about it, and I'm setting the hook. And, you know, this is a social event. And that's what's really cool about this ice fishing. And a lot of times fishing up in this part of the world, it's very social. You know, these guys get out and create these little towns, little communities. They're grilling, they're hanging out, and just really having a great time as they catch all kinds of fish. I will be back. I'm already planning my next adventure. Sounds like we're gonna go to Mille Lacs or Leech Lake or one of those places and target big walleye next year. So, A+, I'm gonna do it again.
Coming up next, we're continuing our ice fishing adventures by checking out what it's like to fish out of a wheelhouse.
Groundbreaking designs, unsurpassed quality, and unshakable confidence. Welcome to the Ranger Z500 and Z100 series. Leading the industry for over 50 years, these rigs are custom crafted and loaded with more features and advantages to deliver the ultimate ownership experience. The legendary Ranger Z series. Unleash next level performance.
Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here.
From sun up to sundown, day in and day out, we work hard. We play hard. And to keep us going during those long hours, we demand performance. Engel Coolers, the original high-performance cooler. Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin, is brought to you by Yamaha Marine. Reliability starts here. Spro, Sports Professionals. Power Pole, total boat control. Engel, the original high-performance cooler. A common question in regards to ice fishing is, don't you ever get cold? The short answer is yes, at some point you will be cold. Some anglers fish from permanent or portable shelters with propane heaters inside to keep warm. This was the case when we accompanied our Garmin team on another ice fishing expedition, and the first day of fishing saw a wind chill of -40 degrees.
We've got what are called our wheelhouses, and we call them wheelhouses because they've got wheels on them. You can crank the house up when you're trailering it down the road, and you can crank it down and set it right on the ice. They've got furnaces in them, lights, TVs, ovens, stoves. It's really like a camper on ice, essentially. And so, you know, we're out here, we got the generators running, we've got our TVs going, plugged in through HDMI cables into these GPS map Garmin units, and we're able to literally sit back on the couch and watch the fish come in on our 32-inch TVs. With live scope, it gives you so much more clarity than even Panoptics gave you. And you know, we've been seeing some northerns come through the house. You can see their tail paddling as they go by. You can pick out individual fish, and it's true to scale. So if you see a fish that's a foot long on the screen, that fish is a foot long. So live scope is really kind of the latest cutting edge thing right now, and having it in a fish house is pretty cool. They've got us all worked up. We can't even sit down right now. They're everywhere on the screen.
There he's going up. Look at that crappie.
Oh yeah. That's what we came for. Woo. That's a
slab.
Big one there. Look at that.
That's a nice one.
That's why you come to this area. Yes.
Nice.
And that's what those bigger marks are off to the side, some of the bigger crappies. I mean, that's, you know, look at that over my hand. That's a big crappie.
That's a beauty.
And you want to know what that is? A crappie sandwich for tomorrow.
You got it. I ain't gonna argue there. Oh, here comes a good one off the bottom.
Look at that. Looks a little better on that rod.
Yeah, it feels suppose with 3, they're really gonna. Whew. Yeah, that's a nice one.
That's a nice one. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
The first night in the wheelhouses was quite fun, you know. We were set up and we actually all jumped into my house because I've got the 32-inch TV set up to the 8610. We had a lot of bites, lots of bluegills, lots of small crappies. We caught a couple of nice crappies too. Overall, really good evening in the wheelhouse. It was fun.
The next morning, the weather had warmed up to a comfortable 6 degrees, which gave our team the opportunity to get outside, drill some holes, and enjoy the great outdoors.
Good one?
Yeah, not bad. I was just trying to get 2 higher marks, and then I seen one down below moving around a little bit, so I dropped down to him. Thought he was maybe a little bigger, but
he looks like a head shaker, but
yeah, I don't know if.
Yeah.
I wasn't letting that one get away. Oh, that's a tank.
Look at that.
It's a slab, huh? That was all worth it. Cold hands and everything.
So, you know, ice fishing is really a huge growth category in the fishing industry. And, you know, even since when I was a kid, fishing has changed tremendously. You know, we obviously didn't have big crank down houses on wheels with TVs in them and all that kind of stuff. It was more you just sat there with your jiggle stick. If you had a flasher, that was awesome. Today, ice fishing is a very high-tech, you know, very advanced fishing, and we can get out here with Panoptics and see fish 100 feet away, which is something that even, you know, a few years ago was just unthinkable. So it's always a good time when you can get out on the lake and catch some fish. And whether we catch fish or not, it's about being with friends and sometimes the adventure of it. You know, today we were busting drifts with the truck. The night before we were sitting in the wheelhouse and kind of hanging out. And, you know, ice fishing is such a fun way to spend your time in the winter. It's cold up here, but, you know, we've got the heaters, we've got the houses and the equipment to do it. So I encourage people to get out and try it. Ice fishing is really kind of a fun way to kind of get out into the outdoors and enjoy, you know, all the Great Lakes that we have up here in Minnesota.
In closing, always make sure you're safe and prepared. Sitting on a frozen lake and staring down a hole the size of a dinner plate may not sound like fun to those who haven't tried it. However, we promise you ice fishing can be incredibly rewarding. And it's an activity that helps many anglers up north get through the long winters. Mix in the Garmin Live Scope and it's one of the most exciting ways to fish. Coming up, we're thawing out and migrating south like a duck for some springtime fishing at the famous Lake Amistad.
Your time on the water is precious. You return season after season to make unforgettable memories, fight a few fish, reconnect with friends, and recenter yourself. If you count on having this time, you need an outboard you can count on to power it. That's why boaters stay with Yamaha for the long run, for life. They know reliability starts here.
You know that guy that's always bringing in big ones from offshore? He's got secret lures. That guy that can pull out his spinning rod and start catching them when you can't buy a bite. He's got secret lures. What about that guy that can follow you down the bank and catch what you left behind? He's got secret lures.
Oh, yeah, good one.
If you're ready to be that guy, get your secret lures today at secretlures.com.
You've been waiting all week for this, and Sunline wants to make sure you're ready for it with bulk spools of all your favorite fishing lines.
That's so fun.
Bulk up with Sunline. Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin, is brought to you by Sunline, the strength to guarantee your confidence. Outdoor Action TV, stream your favorite shows. Yamaha's proven off-road ATVs and side-by-side vehicles. We're joining Wade Middleton and Jeff Reynolds for a fun day of fishing and keeping score as they reel in fish after fish on this renowned body of water. Wade and Jeff have already been on the water for several hours, and the current standings have both anglers with 8 fish apiece, so it's safe to say fishing is pretty good so far.
Squealing a little bit.
He's shaking his head a little bit.
Oh,
God! Jesus, that's that fish. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Never got the hook into him.
Dude, that was well over 10.
That was a freaking giant right there.
Holy cow.
He couldn't get out of the water.
Remember, I wanted to start right here.
Wow.
That was a giant, dude. I mean, that was an absolute
oh my God.
giant.
Wow.
Oh, better one.
Yeah. You got it deep. Come here, buddy. It'll hit the corner of the mouth.
He looked bigger than that down there.
Yes, he did. Got it?
We got a jumper.
We have a jumper. Come off there, fish. Big old long skinny fish. How long this fish is. Little finesse worm. Well, I mean, as soon as that one hit the water, Jeff,
he was on it.
He was on it. It's amazing what happens when that sun comes out and warms up.
Mm-hmm.
What it can do to them. That's pretty in that water.
They are pretty in that water.
Fatty.
He'll score.
He'll score. He'll score on the 14-inch scale. Got him?
I got him.
Oh, that's a good one. If I go faster, I can make that drag even seem better.
Get out of that tree.
Something about fishing these baits like this. You just get a lot of bites this time of the year throwing them.
Yes, you do. A lot of bites.
A lot of bites.
It's just a fun, easy way to fish. Relaxing.
Yep. Look at that thing go crazy.
He's nuts.
Smallmouth.
Yeah. That's what he's acting like.
Got those last two right up there in the middle. You can't stand that, can you?
No. I'm ready to go ahead and try to catch me one.
Oh. Got him. He's on there.
I guess I hit.
You hit the bail again, didn't you? I was like, now, wait a minute. I thought he ate it. And he went
I thought he did too. I thought I broke my line again, but I hit that bail again. I've never done that before, and I've done it twice today.
I was sitting there and I was like, I think he ate it. How's he going that way? His tail gave him away.
Yeah. He had it there sticking out of the water.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Well, this day of fun fishing is coming to a close, and with both Jeff and Wade catching fish after fish, they simply lost count on who caught the most. But if you ask either of them, they'll say they caught the most. We're sure they'll be on the water again soon to see who actually does catch the most. Hey, thank you for watching, and join us next week on a new episode of Americana Outdoors. Americana Outdoors is a Careco TV production.
I got my power pole down, stuck in the mud in the bottom of the lake, sitting so still in the wind and the waves, could even be a hurricane. I got my power pole down.
You know, when I look at the tournaments I've won, probably 4 or 5 of the boats that I've won have been on a tube. But I'd completely gotten away from flipping a tube because nobody made one soft enough.
Big Bite has come with this new tour series of baits. The thing that's probably the most unique is when you look at that bait, the salt just rolls out of it. And to me, that is the reason a fish bites a tube and hangs on to it. This isn't one of those let's go out and catch some smallmouth tube. This is a let's get it done tube.